All right, welcome back. Now, we have ammo pickups, but we don't have a way to heal, and this can make things very challenging. And health pickups are a nice way to replenish the health as you're maneuvering your way through the level. So we're going to do that in this lecture. So our goal is to have a health pickup actor, which can heal the character, and we also need to update that health bar percent on the HUD. Now, this is all involving things that you know how to do, so I'm going to give you a nice, big, ambitious challenge for this lesson. Now, if you don't get all the way through it, no worries. We're going to go through this together, but I want to see if you've retained enough information to do this on your own at this point, because this is the best way for you to learn how to do things by implementing features on your own, and you'll gain more confidence and be better able to do these things on your own when you're creating your own games. So take this as an opportunity to sort of gauge how much you've retained and how much you've learned. And don't get discouraged if you get stuck, because we're going to go through this step by step. So your first task will be to create an actor and call this Health Pickup. You can place this in the Pickups folder. Now, you're going to give this Health Pickup a static mesh component as well as a sphere collision component, just like our ammo pickup. You're also going to want a variable for the amount of health that we'd like to replenish. So add a float called health to this pickup. Now, we're going to implement onComponentBegin overlap for the sphere component. And if you get this far, you're in the home stretch. You just need to heal the character and update the HUD. Now, bonus points if you start creating functions for these, because then your blueprints will be nice and orderly and you won't have nodes all over the place. So pause the video and create your health pickup and see how far you can get. And then we'll do this together. Okay, so we need a health pickup. Let's go into our pickups folder and right-click and create a new blueprint. And I'm going to select actor, and I'm going to call this simply health pickup. So let's open health pickup. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the default scene route and click add to add a static mesh. And I'm going to call this health mesh. Now, if you set the mesh, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and set it. I'm going to search for health, and you may have found this static mesh. It's called Pickup Health, and it looks like a cross, which is sort of the health symbol. So that is going to do just fine. Now, we need a sphere, so I'm going to go back to selecting the default scene route and type in sphere and get myself a sphere collision. Now, I'd like to make this sphere a little bigger so it's easier to pick up. So about 70, 75 or so for the radius. I think that looks pretty good. Now, we also need a health variable. So I'm going to click add variable and call this new variable health. And I'm going to change it to a float. And I'll compile so I can give this a default value. Now, I'd like to heal the character by, say 25 points. Now, we can adjust that, and you can even have multiple versions of this in the level. You can edit that health variable on each individual instance if you like, but I'm going to keep these at 25 for now, and the only thing left to do is to heal the character. So let's go into our event graph, and with our sphere selected, I'm going to right-click and type onComponentBegin overlap. So we've done this several times now, and hopefully the repetition is sort of burning this into your brain, because the more times you do it, the easier it gets. Now, I'm going to cast the other actor to FPS character. So let's cast to FPS character. And on the FPS character, we can heal the character. Now, what we did for the ammo pickup was we created a function on FPS character called add ammo. We can even double click this to go back and see how that function works. We can do something similar here. We want to add to the health and update the HUD. So let's make a function on the character for healing the character. I'm going to click add and function. And I can simply call this heal. Now, heal is going to take an input, and this will be a float. This will be the amount we would like to heal. So let's add an input, change it to a float, and call this simply heal amount. It's okay if you called it something else if you got this far. Now, I'm going to heal the character by heal amount, which means I'm going to take health, drag it out and get a setter and hook that up. And I need to take my current health value. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to add that to heal amount. So I can use the plus symbol to get an add node, add these together, and hook this up. Now, the last thing to do is update the HUD. So we're going to get our HUD, and we're going to get our health bar. So let's type health bar. And from the health bar, we need to set the percent. So let's get our health bar, type set percent. And the percent is going to be health divided by max health. So let's get health and max health. I'm going to hold control and drag these in just to get getters. And I'm going to divide. I'm going to hit the slash, get a divide node, and now we have our fraction to pass in as percent. Okay, so we now have a heal function. Now we need to call this from our health pickup. So let's go to our health pickup, go to our event graph, and after we've cast to FPS character, we can drag off and type heal and call the function heal. And of course, we need to pass in the heal amount. That's going to be our health variable, which we have set to a default value of 25. Now, before we test it, I'm going to go back to our viewport here in Health Pickup and move our mesh and our sphere up just a bit so it's not directly on the ground. I'd like it to be floating a bit above. So let's compile that, click Save, and we can drag in a Health Pickup into the level and press play. Now, I see up here it's sort of hidden by click for mouse control, but there's our health value. It's halfway filled, and I'm going to click in the viewport so I have control and pick up this health pickup. There we go. And we have healed. Now, you may have decided that you want to play a sound as well. So let's go to health pickup, and just after we heal, we can play a sound. We're going to use play sound 2D, and we have a sound in here called pickup health. And if we go to that, we can see what it sounds like. Pretty cool. So we're going to play that sound, and after we play the sound, we can go ahead and destroy our health pickup actor. So we're going to call destroy actor. These were not in the challenge, but if you did these, bonus points. Okay, so we have a health pickup. We know that it's working. We can test this out and see if we can successfully destroy it. There we go. But I'd like to show you something that is an issue here. And we can see the issue if we take our FPS character, take our health here, and expose it, click that eye icon. That way we can see it on an instance in the world. And if I hit play, I can detach from the character with this icon here. Now I'm no longer possessing it. And I can select the character. And with the character selected, here in the details panel, I can search for health. Now we see that health is set to 50. Okay, so far so good. If I repossess and I pick up a health pickup, then Shift F1, that's how I get my mouse cursor back, I can detach again, select my character, and it's 75. Okay, still so far so good. The problem arises when we pick up more than we need. Let's select this health pickup and hold Alt and duplicate it several times. Let's put about 4 of these here. Now I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to pick up all 4. All right, Shift F1 to get my mouse cursor. I'm going to detach and select the character. Now look at this. We have 150 health, but we can't see that because our health percent only goes up to 1. So if we took damage, we wouldn't even see it here until we get down to 100, which means we should never go above max health when adding health. Well, we can enforce that in our function. We created this function called heal. And when we set the percent, we need to make sure that health is never going above 100. Now, we could do some math to make sure that never happens, but Unreal Engine has lots of math nodes that do things like this for us. So what we can do before we set health is we can take the amount after we've added heal amount to health, and we can clamp. So type clamp. We're going to use clamp float, and clamp float will take a value and make sure that it never goes below or above certain boundaries. Now our max, we can use max health for that. That way, if we ever change max health, let's say we get some sort of power up that lets our max health go up to, say, 200, then this will take that into account. And of course, we should never go below 0 health. So whatever this value is after we add the heal amount to our health, the clamp will make sure it never goes above max health and never goes below 0. And that is what we're going to set health to. Now, if we compile and come back in here and hit play, now I can pick up these pickups. I can shift F1 to get my mouse cursor, click up here to detach, and with the character selected, I see that my health is 100, not 175 like we saw before. So now we know we'll never go above 100. Now you may be thinking maybe we should have done this with ammo. But that's okay because in our character fire weapon function, let's go back and take a look at that. Here it is. We are subtracting 1 from the ammo, but we don't do that unless ammo is greater than 0. So we already have that check in place here. Great. Okay, so we now have health pickups. This is great. So now we have a few things that can help us along the way as we're maneuvering through the level. And we can place more drones and more hazards to make it more difficult and scatter these pickups throughout the level so that we have a little bit of relief along the way. Great job. I'll see you soon.